Shanti, how are you all? Today we are going to see the reasons behind insomnia, the lack of sleep, and what one should do to get sleep as soon as we get to bed. So it's actually very easy to get the sleep on time. The only reason we don't get sleep on time is that we don't take into consideration the factors that disturb our sleep. So the things like television, mobile phone, chatting with our friends over mobile phone or in person, that's going to disturb your sleep in a second. So we pay no attention to that. So usually we will be getting the signal to sleep twice before 10 or 11 o'clock in the night. But since we engage ourselves in the very interesting activities during that time, that our sleep gets disturbed in a fraction of a second, so we pay no attention to the signal given by the body to sleep. So people say that some certain massage techniques and listening to some meditation music will help you get sleep fast, but if it's working for you, well, then all the best. If it doesn't, the method that we are going to discuss right now is going to work 100% for everybody. You don't have to do anything, just you have to discipline yourself so that sleep comes automatically when you want to. Usually people suffer from insomnia if they have less work or no work during the daytime. So in addition, people who don't get sleep on time, they used to sleep during the daytime, so usually they wake up from bed only after 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So obviously the sleep pattern has changed drastically, which is why it is impossible for them to correct it. But if you pay close attention to certain details, it is quite possible to put it in the right path. First and foremost, you should have the habit of waking up very early, because that has close connection to the time you get sleep in the night. So always make it a point to wake up before 4 o'clock. So you should discipline somehow to do that in the first hand. Whether you sleep at 10 o'clock in the night or in the 12 o'clock or even later, it doesn't matter. But still you have to wake up by 4 o'clock, and you should never sleep throughout the day. Then you will automatically get sleep even by 8 o'clock. So you should be ready to embrace sleep, which means you should have completed taking food before that, so that when you have that signal, then you should just go to bed and have a sound sleep. And another thing, you should keep your whole day very busy. Usually people after their retirement, they suffer from insomnia. So what they should do is they have to create some kind of habit to keep them very busy throughout the day. So they might be old, they may not involve themselves in the physical activity, it's okay, but what about the mental activity? You can do mental activities like reading, or typing or any creative things, that's quite plenty nowadays through internet, right? So you can do that, but the only thing is it shouldn't be something that is stimulating, like listening to the music. You should stay away from uh, all the things that stimulates you, and also if possible avoid all the news channels and the television, because that's going to put a lot of uh, unwanted waste things from outside into your brain. So your brain is going to chew that over and over again, and that's going to create a huge impact in disturbing your sleep. So you should pay attention to these tiny details so that your sleep don't get disturbed in the night. And if you had to watch the internet, do it before 4 o'clock in the evening. So strictly no mobile phone, no television after 4 o'clock. But if there is a need, then complete it before 6 o'clock. And after that, you should not get into the internet. You should not have chat with anybody through voice call or video call or anything. So these are the things you should maintain. And also you should not speak even with your family members after 6 o'clock. If there is a work to be completed, just do it without talking with anybody. So you will see by 8 o'clock your brain commands you to go to bed, so you will get a very sound sleep. And one more thing we need to take care of is right from the time we wake up from the bed, the first thing, you should not go back to bed. And the first thing you need to do as soon as you get out of bed is to take a nice bath. So you should bathe yourself as soon as you get out of the bed, so that way you will get fresh. And after that you should spend around 1 hour in meditation, because that will strengthen up your mind so that you can face all the situations with full mind power. So after that you can start doing whatever you want, but remember that the first few hours, say for 4 to 5 hours after you wake up, your mind is going to stay very fresh. It has its full potency, so make use of it, because as time passes it's going to become dull. So you can't extract that much effort from brain after 5 or 6 hours. So make use of the first 6 hours. So the activities that involves thinking, complete it in the first 5 hours. And after that you can start doing things that doesn't need mind power, so you can do all the physical activities after that. But one thing that you need to keep on mind is you need to keep on working. So you can take a 5-minute break every 1 hour, that's it. And why do you need that break? To refresh your mind by meditating. So we will teach you that meditation in the end. So we are going to teach the true meditation. So by meditation we mean only this, not the breathing technique, not any other thing. Okay. And as soon as you wake up from bed, you should start saying to yourself that I'm not the kind of guy who sleeps after 4 o'clock. So you have to constantly say this so that your mind gets fresh in the beginning. Then You have to say, you have to constantly condition your mind by saying that I'm the kind of guy who is very fresh, who is very active, who will never go lazy over time. So you need to keep on saying this to yourself so that you will start being active right from the moment you wake up. So you need to say it quite often throughout the day so that you don't doze off in the middle. So keep in mind, you should never take sleep in the middle of the day. If you do that, then you may not get sleep in the night. So if you feel tired, take a 5-minute break and do the meditation by using the positive thoughts like I'm a very brisk guy, something like that. And if you find it very hard to follow this routine on the very first day because you get sleep only after midnight, so is there any way to change that pattern? Yes, there is a way, and that is this happens usually because you wake up after 10 o'clock in the morning. So obviously you will never get sleep in the night. So what you should do is, in the night you would be very brisk. Why can't you make use of that time to do all the things, whether it's mental related or physical related, but keep yourself very busy. Instead of trying to sleep, just focus on doing. Don't bother about the time. If you think it's impossible to do it in the middle of the week, then you can wait till the weekend, then you can do it, so that the next day, if it is holiday, then it's going to be very easy for you. So if you start it by Friday or Saturday, then you start working throughout night, and I know that sleep will strike you on the usual time it strikes, but don't sleep. At that point of time, you say to yourself that I'm not the kind of guy who is going to sleep now, I'm going to stay awake. Say it repeatedly. So now what you are doing here is, you're not going to sleep now, you're going to disturb your sleep voluntarily. So you if you wish, you can even listen to your favorite music so that your sleep gets disturbed, or you can listen to whatever that stimulates you, that disturbs your sleep. So listen to that or whatever for 5 to 10 minutes, then you start working. You keep working throughout night, and even in the day, don't sleep, just keep working. So what will happen is, you will, because it is very easy to stay awake in the morning even if you didn't sleep the previous night, because the disturbance in the daytime is huge. So it's very easy to stay awake in the day. But now don't touch mobile phone or television or chat with anybody. Just keep doing things that interest you most, and don't even speak unnecessarily to anybody. So if you keep working the way we told, like taking a 5-minute break every 1 hour for doing meditation, and start continuing to do all the work, what will happen is, by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the evening, you will start getting sleep. Go to bed. Go to bed, because you have controlled yourself, right? So just go to bed. Now you will get a very sound sleep. Just keep all your doors and windows closed so that nobody disturbs you, or inform them in advance that nobody should disturb you. Then you go to sleep. Have a sound sleep. The sleep will be very amazing. Then you will automatically wake up from bed by 3 or 4 o'clock. the next day. So from that moment on, you just follow that pattern of waking up early in the morning and going to bed early in the night. So this is how you can break the usual pattern, and you will trick your mind to get sleep early in the night. So this is the most effective method. It will work for anybody, for any gender, of any age. Just try it and leave the comment of how it works. Now coming to the meditation part, I mentioned before, if you are someone who can't move physically due to your age problem or some other problem, there is another thing. See, even if you can't perform physically, your mental work itself is enough to make your body and mind tired to get a sound sleep. So it doesn't matter whether you are doing your physical work or mental work. What it matters is whether or not you are busy doing some sort of work. So you should be very busy, you should be very brisk, you should be you are 100% in doing whatever that you do. So the meditation part is here, as I mentioned earlier, this is the only true meditation taught directly by God. So here what we do is just we remember God as He exactly is. How does He look like? Like a very tiny star, very tiny, the tiniest particle in the world. So that's how God looks like, and this is the place He resides. This is called Parandam or Parlok, and this is the place of residence of God, not only for God but also for us, the souls. We souls were also like tiny stars. God is Himself is a soul, but that is why He is called Supreme Soul, Param Atma. We are Atma, we are souls. The only difference between God and us is we enter this birth and death cycle and God doesn't. So we souls reside in between the eyebrows. So that is why Hindus keep a red dot over here, because that is where we exist. This body is just the cloth or dress to the soul. So we are actually souls. So we have to consider ourselves to be a soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, and then we have to think about the Father of all souls, which is God. And that God is called God Shiva by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, the heavenly Godfather by Christians. So God is one. So the more you remember God as a point of light, you will have a strange nice sensation over here, some vibrating sensation, which means that our sins are getting absolved. So this is the only way to absolve all the sins that we have been accumulating over several past births. So the more you do that, the more purer our souls get. And why does God teach this now? Because God gives this knowledge just 100 years before the end of Kali Yuga. So after the end of Kali Yuga, there will be Satyug, which is the new world or heaven. Yes, this world was heaven in the first 2500 years, and the same world has become old and has become hell, and it's been a hell for the past 2500 years. So the whole time cycle itself comprises of 5000 years. And the significance of this time cycle is whatever happens in one cycle, that keeps repeating cycle after cycle, and this cycle is called kalpa. So 5000 years is called a kalpa. So whatever happens in one kalpa, that keeps repeating accurately kalpa after kalpa. To understand it very easily, if you're listening to this video now, it obviously means that you have listened to this video 5000 years back on the very same day, and you will be watching this every 5000 years once on the very same day. So it's that accurate, and this is the meditation God gives. So we were in heaven because we were not aware of the 5 vices like lust, anger, greed, attachment and ego while we were in heaven. That is why we were called deities, and Hindus worship us while we were in our purest stage. But after 2500 years, our souls lost the power to remember that we are actually souls. So we had the consciousness of being a soul while we were in heaven, but after the completion of first 2500 years, we forget that we are souls. Instead, we wrongly started considering ourselves to be this perishable body. Thereby we start falling for these 5 vices, which is why we are suffering, because the characteristic of these vices is it inevitably ends up giving pain and sorrow for us. Only God in the end arrives from his abode. He doesn't take birth like us, so he directly enters an old man's body and he names him Brahma, and he starts giving this knowledge about whom we were in the beginning and what makes us to lose the heavenly kingdom, and now he gives us the way to regain that kingdom back. So how do we do that? The first step is we have to stop considering ourselves to be this perishable body, and we have to start considering ourselves to be this imperishable soul, and then start remembering God also as a point of light as much as possible. So this is the meditation we have to do soon after we get up from the bed. So we need to spend the first 1 hour minimum in doing this meditation, and also we need to do the meditation 1 hour before going to bed in the night. So that way, in addition to getting sleep on time, our souls get its strength directly from God, so that we can face all the situations very boldly, very happily, very peacefully. So this is called the Rajayogi meditation taught directly by God, and this is the true meditation or yoga, whatever you want to call it. So this is not enough, because God speaks to you, because God is a living being. It's not a non-living being. It's not just an energy. He is the creator of energy. He is not the energy. He is the creator. Energy is his creation. So he enters an old man's body to give his teachings, which we call as Murli. It is available totally free of cost in all Rajayoga meditation centers that is spread across the globe. So if you want more details, you can send message in my WhatsApp number +91 98 946 71743, so that I can provide you with the address of the Rajayoga Meditation Center in your country, in your area. So it's totally free. So that's it, guys. Hope you remember all the things that I mentioned to get a sound sleep. You should stay away from all the disturbances that's going to stimulate your brain, like watching television, TV shows, internet programs, YouTube videos, things of that sort after 4 in the evening. And you must wake up early in the morning, say 4 o'clock or before that. You should never wake up after 4 o'clock. That's a very bad thing. That's the reason for the laziness and several diseases. So you should stick to it. If it's very hard to follow it in the first day, then you spend the whole night staying awake, and also the next day staying awake, so that you will get sleep early in the evening and just go to sleep. Then from the next day onwards, it's going to be very easy for you to wake up 4 o'clock or even earlier, and all you need to do is to make it a habit. That's it. So it's very simple. Keep yourself very busy in the daytime so that you will get tired in the night time. That's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to get latest updates about our videos, and also share this video to your friends and family members so that they all benefit from this. Thank you so much for watching this video.